Good morning, my dear students. Welcome once again to the Google Classroom of Sri Gokulam Public School. How are you, my dear darlings? I hope you all had a great and a safe Onam. So, we are going to start our classes after our Onam holidays. So, let's get started with our classes. Today, we are going to discuss a poem. The name of the poem is No Men Are Foreign, written by a very prolific English writer, James Crupp. James Crupp was a prolific English poet, translator, and a travel writer. He wrote over 30 books, including autobiographies, novels, and plays. He became a Fellow of Royal Society of Literature in 1962. The poem No Men Are Foreign discusses about some universal themes. Now, before we get into the poem, let us look at the present scenario of the world around us. What are we going through? Yes, we are going through a very dangerous pandemic situation of COVID-19. But in this COVID situation also, we find that people all around the world are joining hands and finding out ways to be helpful to each other. When a crisis hits us, there are no boundaries. Whether it is in America, in any European country, China, or any Asian country, we find that the pain, the suffering, the difficulties are all the same. Every day, we are watching out to other countries, finding out solutions for solving this pandemic situation. We find that all of us go through the same kind of sufferings, and the pain is universal all around us. Now let us stop for a moment and think about a situation before the pandemic hit us. How were we living? Was there this universal brotherhood, caring and sharing amongst us? Unfortunately, we have to say that the situation was not the same before the pandemic hit us. There was a lot of enmity between countries, people were waging wars, and hatred was spread around the world. There was a stiff competition, and each country wanted power to prove that they are the best in the world. James Crupp, in this poem, is also discussing about a similar kind of situation. We can say that this poem is a kind of a peace poem, because through this poem, James the poet is trying to propagate to us, he is trying to spread the word of peace around the world. He wants us to understand that every person on this earth belongs to one community and one human race. Now, let us go into the details of the poem. Remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. Beneath all uniform, a single body breathes. Like us, the land our brothers walk upon is earth like this, in which we shall lie. In the first stanza, the poet wants us to remember that all men are equal in the world. He uses the word no men are strange and no countries foreign. Strange, he means to say, is that there is no difference amongst people. And foreign he means the borders, the boundaries that we have created. It is quite unnecessary because the entire world belongs to us. He says that soldiers wear different kinds of uniform in different countries, but beneath that uniform, that is inside that uniform, all of us are the same. There is the same life process going about in every person. Also, the feelings and emotions of every soldier, or rather every man, is same. There is no difference. We all walk upon Mother Earth, and it is this same Mother Earth that becomes our grave when we die. So in this first stanza, we can definitely find the poet expressing to us the concept of one earth and one human race. Now, the second stanza. They too, aware of sun and air and water, are fed by peaceful harvest, by war's long winter starved. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read a labor not different from our own. In this stanza, the word they refers to the people of other country. He says that we people discriminate others on basis of caste, color, creed, religion, gender, and nations. We often wage wars and create destruction amongst ourselves. But our Creator, the God or nature, has not discriminated amongst the people. The nature has provided all its resources, whether it is sunlight, air, or water, equally to all the people. At good times, we celebrate, and at bad times, like war time, we suffer. This is similar for everyone in the world. All the people in every country work hard to make a living. Their labor or their hard work is similar across the world. Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. Again, the poet is repeatedly telling us to understand that there is no difference amongst the people in and around the world. He explains this through simple concepts like all of us, irrespective of which country we are living in, we close our eyes to go to sleep and open our eyes to wake up. The features of a human being, physically and mentally, is similar everywhere in the world. Love is a feeling that all of us understands. For example, imagine a Russian child going up to his mother and telling you, I love you, mama. A Pakistani child, an American child, an Indian child, an Australian child. Whichever country the child belongs to, the emotions behind the words, I love you, mama, is understood both by the mother and the child. So there is no difference between people anywhere in the world. Life is common in every land. We breathe to maintain life, and this is common everywhere in this world, and we as common people can understand this simple concept. We can avoid war and destruction in the world. Let us remember, whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispossess, betray and contemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other. The poet wants us to understand that whenever there is a declaration of war, or we are propagated to hate and fight with each other, it is actually ourselves that we are destroying. Now let me explain this with a simple example. We all have got brothers and sisters in our house. Imagine a neighbor coming to your house and asking you to have a fight with your brother and sister. They might find some points which you are against with your brother and sister, ignite those feelings inside you and create a fight between your brother and sister. After having a fight with your brother and sister, and you find that your sibling is sitting and crying in the corner of a room, do you feel happy? Do you feel peaceful? No, never. We do not feel happiness in spite of the fact that we have taken revenge for something they have done wrong to us. The reason behind that is that whenever our loved ones are in pain, we also feel a similar pain. So here the poet is bringing us the concept of universal brotherhood. He says that just like in our own homes, the entire world is one home. The Indian concept of Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam can be discussed over here. Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, it means that the entire world is one family and all of us are brothers and sisters. A similar concept is discussed by the poet, and he says that when we are fighting with the neighbors or other countries, we are actually fighting with our brothers and sisters. Whenever there is a war, the losses are equal at both sides. It is the human earth that we defile. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. Remember, no men are foreign and no countries strange. In the last stanza, the poet wants us to bear in mind that we are not the owners of this earth. We are only here for a temporary period, and it is our duty to protect the Mother Nature. But instead of that, we are creating destruction and destroying Mother Nature. Whenever there is war, there is fire, bloodshed and death. The dead bodies and the decayed bodies pollute the land. Fire and smoke pollute the air. We human beings, through war, is creating a hell on earth where nobody can live. The poet ends the poem with a message or a request which he has given at the beginning of the poem, which is that no men are strange and no countries foreign, and all of us need to live together peacefully in harmony. I hope, children, the message of the poem is very much clear to all of us. Of course, living in this pandemic situation where all of us are going through a very difficult crisis situation, it is needless to say that universal brotherhood, peace and harmony are the only ways to survive in the world. Let us keep away all the hatred in our minds and understand that together we all can survive and we all can flourish and prosper. With this, we are concluding today's class, and we will meet again soon in our next class. Eat a lot of healthy food and stay safe at home. Notes of this chapter is attached and also a test paper. I want all of you to attempt the test paper. Until we meet again, keep smiling and be good children. Thank you.